Have you ever noticed that the moment you stop texting someone back, stop checking their stories, or stop giving them attention, suddenly they start noticing you more? It feels strange, almost like a switch flips in their mind. One day they seem distant, and the next day, they're the one trying to start conversations. This isn't just coincidence or luck. Psychology actually explains why ignoring someone can sometimes make them chase you even more. And once you understand what's really happening inside the human mind, you'll start seeing this pattern everywhere, in friendships, dating, social media, and even at work. Before we go deeper, make sure you like this video and subscribe to Psychoscope so you don't miss powerful psychology insights that can change the way you understand people and relationships. Imagine this situation. You meet someone new, and at first you give them attention, quick replies, and emotional energy. But slowly you pull back. You take longer to respond. You focus on your own life. You stop trying to impress them. Instead of losing interest completely, they begin to think about you more. They wonder what changed. They feel curious. Sometimes they even feel anxious. That shift right there is where psychology begins to work behind the scenes. Human attention doesn't always follow logic. In many cases, people value what feels limited, uncertain, or slightly out of reach. When attention becomes less predictable, the brain starts to assign more importance to it. Researchers often connect this reaction to psychological principles like scarcity, emotional uncertainty, and reward anticipation. The mind starts asking questions it didn't ask before. Why did they stop? Did I do something wrong? Are they losing interest? And those questions quietly pull attention back toward the person who stepped away. But here's the important part. Ignoring someone doesn't work the way most people think it does. It's not about playing games or pretending you don't care. The real effect happens when attention shifts naturally and confidence replaces the need for approval. That difference is what we're going to explore today. Now let's understand what actually happens inside the brain when someone feels ignored. When a person is used to receiving attention from you, your messages, your reactions, your presence become part of their normal emotional routine. The human brain loves patterns. It loves predictability. When something becomes consistent, the brain relaxes because it knows what to expect. But the moment that pattern breaks, the brain wakes up. Think about it like this. If your phone vibrates every hour, you eventually stop reacting strongly. But if it suddenly stops for a whole day, you start checking it yourself. You start wondering why it's quiet. That silence becomes louder than the noise ever was. The same thing happens in relationships and social interactions. Psychologists talk about something called intermittent reinforcement. It's a powerful concept. When rewards are unpredictable, the brain becomes more attached. This is actually the same principle used in casinos. Slot machines don't pay out every time. They reward randomly. And that unpredictability keeps people hooked. When someone isn't sure when they'll get your attention again, their brain starts craving it more. Dopamine, the chemical linked to motivation and desire, doesn't spike when we receive something guaranteed. It spikes when we anticipate something uncertain. So when you suddenly pull back and stop being constantly available, you create a small emotional gap. That gap creates anticipation, and anticipation fuels attraction. But here's something deeper that most people don't talk about. Ignoring someone can trigger what psychologists call reactance. Reactance happens when people feel like their access to something is being taken away. When we sense that we might lose something, we value it more, even if we didn't care that much before. Let's say someone knows they can text you anytime and you'll reply instantly. There's no pressure, no urgency. But once your replies slow down, or you become less emotionally available, suddenly your attention feels limited. The brain interprets limited access as higher value. It starts thinking, wait, why am I not getting the same response anymore? And that question alone pulls their focus back to you. Now, this doesn't mean ignoring someone will magically make everyone chase you. Human behavior is more complex than that. It only works under certain conditions. First, there has to be some level of existing interest. If someone never cared in the first place, silence won't create attraction out of nothing. But if interest was already there, reducing availability can amplify it. Another important factor is confidence. There's a big difference between ignoring someone because you're hurt and trying to punish them versus naturally focusing on your own life. When you ignore someone from a place of insecurity, people can feel it. The energy changes. It feels forced. But when you're genuinely busy improving yourself, chasing goals, spending time with friends, and not obsessing over replies, that calm energy feels powerful. People are drawn to emotional stability. When you don't react immediately, don't double text, don't beg for attention, you send a quiet message. That message says, I value myself. My time matters. And self-value is attractive. Let's talk about something even more interesting. Humans are naturally curious creatures. When information is incomplete, the brain tries to fill in the gaps. This is called the curiosity gap. If you suddenly become less expressive or less available, the other person's mind starts creating stories. They might imagine you're talking to someone else. They might wonder if you lost interest. They might think you're busy doing something exciting. And those imagined scenarios often increase emotional intensity. In many cases, people don't chase because they suddenly fell deeply in love. They chase because their certainty was disturbed. Certainty feels comfortable, but uncertainty feels exciting. And excitement often gets mistaken for attraction. But there's a fine line here. If ignoring becomes extreme or disrespectful, it backfires. Consistent emotional neglect pushes people away. The key is balance. It's not about disappearing completely. It's about not overinvesting too early. It's about keeping your emotional energy balanced instead of pouring it all out at once. And here's something powerful to remember. When you stop overgiving, you give the other person space to step forward. In many relationships, one person does most of the emotional work. They initiate conversations. They plan. They check in. The other person gets used to receiving. But when the giver pulls back, the dynamic shifts. The receiver now has to decide whether they want to step up or let it fade. Silence, when used naturally, creates clarity. It reveals who is genuinely interested and who was simply enjoying easy attention. There's also a social status element involved. In social psychology, perceived value often increases when someone appears less needy. High-value individuals are not constantly seeking validation. They are selective with their time. When you're always available, you unconsciously signal that you have no better options. But when you're balanced and focused on your own priorities, you signal abundance. And abundance mindset is attractive. Scarcity creates desire, but abundance creates respect. When those two combine, people feel compelled to move closer. However, I want to be honest with you. This principle should never be used to manipulate or control someone emotionally. Healthy relationships are built on communication and respect. the goal is not to play mind games. The goal is to stop overextending yourself and allow natural attraction to breathe. If someone only shows interest when you pull away, that tells you something important about them. It may mean they're motivated more by ego than connection. That awareness protects you from investing in the wrong person. As we continue on Psychoscope, we're going to break down the subtle difference between strategic silence and emotional maturity, and how to apply this idea in a healthy way without damaging trust. Because when you understand the psychology behind attention, you don't need to force anything. You simply adjust your behavior, and the dynamic shifts on its own. Now let's look at how this plays out in real life. Because psychology becomes much clearer when we connect it to everyday situations. Think about early-stage dating. One person often feels more invested than the other. The invested person replies quickly, starts most conversations, and constantly checks their phone. The other person responds, but with less urgency. Over time, the imbalance grows. The more one person chases, the more the other relaxes. Not necessarily because they don't care, but because the effort is already being handled for them. Then something changes. The person who was chasing becomes busy with work, friends, or personal goals. Replies slow down. Conversations become shorter. Suddenly, the dynamic flips. The person who was comfortable begins initiating conversations more often. They might not even realize why they're doing it. They just feel a subtle urge to reconnect. This is connected to emotional investment theory. People value what they invest effort into. When someone starts putting more time, attention, and emotional energy into communication, their attachment naturally grows. By stepping back slightly, you create space for the other person to invest. And investment builds connection. Social media makes this effect even stronger. When someone is always watching your stories, liking every post, and commenting quickly, their attention becomes predictable. But when that attention disappears, it becomes noticeable. The absence creates awareness. Awareness creates curiosity. Curiosity often leads to action. You've probably experienced this yourself without realizing it. Maybe someone stopped viewing your posts, and you suddenly checked their profile. Maybe a friend became distant, and you felt the urge to reach out. That reaction is deeply human. We are wired to notice changes in social behavior, because, historically, social connection meant survival. Another psychological factor involved here is perceived independence. Independence signals emotional strength. When you are not constantly seeking reassurance, people assume you are secure in yourself. Emotional security is attractive because it feels safe and stable. It suggests that you're choosing to connect, not depending on connection to feel okay. On the other hand, constant availability can sometimes be misinterpreted as emotional dependence, even when it's just kindness. That's why balance matters so much. The goal isn't to ignore people completely. The goal is to maintain your own rhythm of life. Let's imagine a simple example. Two co-workers talk every day during lunch. One day, one of them stops showing up because they joined a gym class during that time. After a few days, the other co-worker starts missing those conversations and suggests meeting at a different time. Nothing dramatic happened. No one played games. One person simply followed their own routine, and the value of the interaction became clearer. That's the healthiest version of this psychology. It's not forced silence. It's natural prioritization of your own growth. There's also something called emotional contrast. The brain notices differences more than constants. When attention is always high, it feels normal. When attention drops slightly, the contrast makes it feel more meaningful when it returns. This is why occasional space can make conversations feel fresh again. Long-term relationships use this principle naturally. Couples who spend some time apart, focusing on hobbies, friends, or personal goals, often feel more excited to reconnect later. The distance isn't emotional rejection, it's individuality. And individuality keeps relationships alive. But ignoring someone in an unhealthy way creates confusion and insecurity. That's not attraction, that's emotional stress. The difference lies in intention. Are you withdrawing to create mystery, or are you simply living a full life? One comes from insecurity, the other from confidence. Confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It shows through behavior. When you don't panic about delayed replies, when you don't over-explain your absence, when you don't chase constant reassurance, people feel your stability. And stability is rare enough to be attractive. There's also a timing element. The early phase of connection is where attention balance matters most. Later, in stable relationships, communication becomes more direct and consistent. Ignoring someone you already have deep trust with can damage that trust. Context always matters in psychology. Something else worth understanding is self-perception theory. When someone notices themselves putting in more effort to talk to you, their brain starts to believe they must care about you more. Effort changes perception. The mind thinks, if I'm trying this much, this connection must matter to me. And just like that, feelings grow stronger. This is why stepping back slightly can sometimes strengthen connection more than trying harder. Effort from both sides creates balance. Balance creates comfort. Comfort allows attraction to grow naturally. And here's a powerful truth. The most attractive people are not the ones who ignore others on purpose. They're the ones who are genuinely engaged in their own lives. They don't disappear to create attention. They simply don't rely on attention to feel valuable. When you build a life that feels meaningful to you, your communication becomes calmer. You don't rush replies because you're afraid of losing someone. You reply when you're available. That natural pace feels confident and real. People sense authenticity more than words. Forced behavior feels different from genuine independence. So instead of thinking, how can I ignore someone so they chase me? A healthier question is, how can I focus on my own growth so attention becomes balanced? That shift in mindset changes everything. Because in the end, the psychology of ignoring someone is not really about ignoring at all. It's about attention, value, curiosity, and emotional balance. When those elements align, attraction often follows without effort. Before we wrap up, think about your own experiences. Have you ever noticed someone becoming more interested after you stopped trying so hard? Or maybe you felt more curious about someone when they became less available.
These small moments reveal how powerful attention dynamics can be. If this made you see relationships differently, drop a comment below and share your experience. Your story might help someone else understand their situation better. And if you think this video could help a friend who overthinks texting or attention in relationships, share it with them. Thanks for spending time with Psychoscope today.